I've owned a lot of FPV goggles, but I've never owned a pair of ORQA goggles. They're just about the only ones I've never used, so I can't really comment on them. But I've spent the last 45 years developing software as my day job, so I'm fairly qualified to comment on the whole fiasco surrounding their recent firmware bricking and apparent ransomware. Now, I've seen this sort of thing a few times before, and despite ORQA releasing a public statement and issuing a firmware update to fix the problem, I think there's a bigger truth out there. But I'm guessing we'll never really find out. ORQA FPV goggles, known for their high-end performance build and advanced features, became the target of a malicious ransomware assault recently. And according to their public statement, a rogue developer planted a time bomb in the goggles firmware that ended up bricking them. And once it was triggered, victims found their goggles locked, preventing them from even turning on. And ransomware demanded a heavy sum in cryptocurrency. Now, understandably, the impact of this was significant, with pilots facing disruptions and security measures employed by manufacturers being questioned. However, there was an additional layer of concern surrounding this incident. Reports suggest that the ORQA FPV goggles ransomware attack revealed a pretty disturbing trend. Some users expressed frustration over ORQA allegedly diverting blame to protect their brand's reputation. Instead of taking full responsibility for the vulnerability, there were claims that ORQA attempted to shift the blame onto external factors, in this case a disgruntled or a rogue software developer. Although this sounds plausible, this may not be the real story. It may have been just a simple lack of understanding of what licensed software is being used in their products. And including third-party components in core products carries inherent risks. While using external technologies can enhance functionality and importantly save a lot of development time, it also introduces potential vulnerabilities. And manufacturers have got to thoroughly vet and assess the security of these components before integrating them into their product build, as well as understanding any of the licensing issues. Now, in response to the attack, the ORQA team released an emergency firmware update that addressed the vulnerability and provided guidelines for users to restore their goggles. And they've also offered support to affected individuals. Looking ahead, the future for ORQA is challenging and maybe promising. While the ransomware was a significant setback, it also served as a bit of a wake-up call for the company to reassess their security measures and rebuild trust with their customers by just letting them know what's going on. ORQA has committed to enhancing their security protocols to prevent similar incidents in the future, and they've expressed a willingness to collaborate with cybersecurity experts to make sure it doesn't happen again. And this whole ransomware attack brought to light concerns about brand protection and the importance of taking full responsibility. Now, as consumers, it's crucial that we hold these companies accountable for their actions. So what now? Well, actually, it's not all bad news for ORQA. They've got an opportunity to rebuild trust and strengthen their brand by prioritising customer security and fostering an open dialogue with the FPV community. How about going open source? That's work for others. So, it's been a bit of an interesting few weeks in the FPV world, as well as really annoying for those that have been affected. And if you want to keep up to date with my builds and tech and anything else in the world of Whirly Bloke, you should probably subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.